This video will deal with module 5 of your S2 grammar text. We'll be discussing the composition of expanding a proverb, short essay, and report. So the first section is expansion of proverbs. So what is a proverb? We are all familiar with proverbs. In Malayalam, we call them Paranjollugal. So, what are they? They are pithy statements, that is, they are very concise and very short statements, but however, they are very expressive. They they are full with meaning. So, they are wise sayings and they carry deeper meanings. They do not have just a surface meaning, they have an implied meaning within the surface meaning. They use metaphors to convey complex ideas. They are relatable, that is, they are drawn from examples from daily life. And lastly, they vary from culture to culture, unique to their place of origin. So, you will not find a proverb, you will find ideas with similar you will find proverbs with similar meanings and similar ideas, but you will never find a proverb which has the same wording. It will depend on the place from which this proverb has originated. So these explanations will be clear as we look at certain examples. So I have listed certain 3 examples of proverbs and I have also listed the meanings. So one example of these are English proverbs. These might not be very familiar to you. We know proverbs from Malayalam, but these I have given examples of certain English proverbs. So the first example is walls have ears. Now this does not mean that this statement does not mean that there are walls which actually have ears. What does this mean? Other people may be listening to what you speak. That is, you should be careful what you are speaking. You should never think that you are not being heard. You should always be very careful. So, that is the meaning that is implied by the statement, by the proverb. Second example, too many cooks spoil the broth. So, it does not just refer to the fact that, a dish is being spoiled. What does it mean? Don't entrust any responsibility to too many people. The third example, an idle brain is the devil's workshop. It does not mean that there is a workshop inside your brain. The meaning is that idleness, that is being lazy, is the root of all evil. So I hope through these examples you have understood what a proverb is and you were able to relate to all the explanations in the previous slide. Okay, so they are very short statements. However, they are advice, that pieces of advice that are given to us. They are wise sayings. They are rich in meaning. They have a meaning beyond the surface meaning, and it varies according to the place from which it has originated. Now, our task is to expand the proverb. How can we expand a proverb? So, what you're supposed to do is you are supposed to give a detailed, clear exposition, that is, an explanation of the meaning of the proverb. Because there's just one sentence in a proverb. You know the meaning, but what you have to do is you have to explain the concept of the proverb behind the proverb very clearly. So first of all, when you are trying to attempt this question for your exam, be sure that you clearly understand the meaning of the proverb. If you don't know the meaning of the proverb, then don't attempt to expand it. If you get the meaning wrong, then you are not going to score any marks. So before you begin expanding the proverb, make sure that you have a very clear idea of the meaning of the proverb. Now, most proverbs will be metaphorical. For example, the proverb, a wall has ears. It does not mean that the wall has an actual ear. So, you have to explain the concept behind the metaphor. So, you have to explain it in a very plain language using simple language. Now, in order to aid your explanation of the concept, you can add details, examples, anecdotes, small stories, etc. Okay, so rather than theoretically explaining the meaning, if you are able to give an example, okay, then it would aid the answer, it would aid the reader to understand the explanation even more. Now, how would you conclude the explanation? You can conclude it by stressing the meaning of the proverb once again, and you should also include the moral, if any. If there are, so it's a wise saying. So, if you have any moral that you can draw from the proverb. So, for example, when I said walls have ears, I said you should be careful about what you are saying. That is the moral that can be drawn from the proverb. Okay, so this is how you frame your expansion of the proverb. Now we'll look at a few examples. So the proverb here is, a leopard cannot change its spots. Okay, so if you read through it, you can either compose it in one paragraph if it's a short question, or if it's a question demanding a longer answer, then you can divide it into paragraphs. So here the first paragraph, a very short paragraph, is the introductory paragraph, which straight away gives you the meaning of the proverb. The second paragraph tells you an example, another story, which illustrates this paragraph, and the conclusion is a moral. It gives you a moral. So I'll just quickly read through it. The introductory paragraph, which gives the meaning of the proverb, the basic